Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Go with the Flow. This is our self-care awareness, and tonight our guest is no one other than the wonderful, the amazing, the author of Healing Words, no one other than herself, but Judy Ambrose James. How are you doing, Miss Judy James? How are you doing? And I want to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your all of your work. Thank you for your effort, all of your efforts. And then this book that you have out. I want to talk to you about that because that's what we need in the world. We need healing words because without the healing words, we're just going to keep going for destruction the same way that we're going. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you for your courage to even, say, you know what, this is what we need. And thank you for, sitting down and ignoring your phone call and, your phone calls and falling asleep at the table and everything, and writing this book. So, but yeah, I want to thank you for that. And I'm going to pass the mic over to you, because that's
Thank
what we're
you.
here for.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, let me tell you, I am so honored to be here on your show this time. You're always on mine. So I get the opportunity to be here with you. And if you don't mind, Suelo, I would like to say a prayer. And it's going to be for the young people, because you know how you and I feel about the young people.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. That's what I say to my young people, you know, and I thank you so much for bringing up my book. Let me bring it here right quick. Healing Words,
Yes.
speaking life to the generations. This is a parent's guide. This is what I wrote from the parents and the young parents. I'm not talking about older parents like myself. I'm talking about young parents. You know, if you think about the impact of the words that you choose, right? Every every second we choose words that are either gonna hurt, help, or liberate us from something that's been holding us back. So when God gave me healing word, he said, look, I know I've got the GT Summit and you were part of the speaker at the GT Summit.
Yes,
Two
ma'am.
days before the GT Summit, God said, there's no we're not going to be able to start a generational turnaround until we heal the young people, heal the old people. There's a lot of healing that needs to be going on in this country, in this world, actually. And so I stepped out on the faith. I activate my faith. Let me change that and starting writing these healing words, speaking life into the generations. And that's how I got this started on that, Suelo.
Well, like I said, I'm glad that you did because that's where a lot of people they don't understand. You have to speak it. Whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever you feel, you have to speak it. If you don't speak it, what are you doing? You're not activating your faith, and that's just it. I love how you always say, activate your faith, activate your faith, and That's true. So
Mhm.
thank you for saying that. Thank you for standing on that, because you make people understand and realize, if you don't activate your faith, what are you doing? What are you doing with your talents? So
It's a challenge to yourself. Okay, I got faith. Yeah, I got faith. What you mean? Do I have faith? People get offended if you say, "Well, do you have enough faith?" And they don't realize that. Okay, to say the word is one thing, but faith is an action word. It's required action.
yes,
Faith
ma'am.
is the faith is that's the substance of things hoped for, but you got to work it.
I'm
You
glad that you
got
said
to
that.
work it.
I'm glad that you said that, because me personally, I grew up, like I said, with my mother and my grandmother. They were in church, and they made us grow up in church and took us to church, on Sundays and everything. But as soon as they got home, it was here comes all of the worrying, and here comes the gossiping. Oh
Mm.
Lord, how we got to rob Peter to pay Paul, and Lord, how I'm gonna do this. And but where's the faith? I mean, you want to teach us to stand on God's word, but you're not showing us. And when we were doing the generational turnaround, the one thing that I love that Trellis would always say, her saying is, more is caught versus taught.
That's right.
Because no matter how many times we can teach a child something, they're watching what we're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
they're catching everything. So, shout out to Trellis for that, for saying that. But seriously, it's very hard. And with you coming out with this book, Healing Words, teaching people, teaching parents, the
Mm-hmm.
younger generation, the people, even, we do have some older people that are parents that
Yeah.
still don't understand that it's what comes out of their mouth. They don't understand that the power of a parent's tongue. They don't understand that, you know, if you want your child to be everything exactly what you want them to be, you have to speak it into their life. And that's what you're teaching them.
And live it. Speak it and live it because they grow and learn by example. And one thing what you said, people they they like to say what they do, but they don't live what they do. And I mean that's everybody age across the board. So young people look for that. They almost want to see you not living so that they can come back and say, now what you say? What are you telling me to do? You're not even doing it. I mean, it's a fact.
So at that point, what's being taught is teaching the child how to lie. And so then when that child starts to lie, then the parent gets upset and says, well, where do you get that from?
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to do what I say do, not what I do. You heard that?
Well, what makes that person God, though? Because no one is superior
Well,
to God.
well, and I always told you this back in the 60s when I was growing up, our people, my father, grandfather, they all would tell me to do as I do, not as I say do. I mean, do as I say do, not as I do. And it was for my protection because they had some people out there that were waiting for me to step out of the the safety of my family, my parents, and they're waiting to snatch me up. So but I want to. Well, how come you go? Why you out there? You won't let us go, but y'all out there. Well, that was the reason. My grandfather would say, "We gotta go out there. We have to risk our lives to get what you need, but you don't go out there." So then, it changed as the generations got bolder and was ready. Then they were taking the risk and boldness and black power and all of that changed the trajectory of mama. You can't tell me when you doing it. And so it had a whole different outlook. So that's why me and you debate that subject, but that's because it was different for you. It was different, and there was a different reason why your parents, whoever the grown up that was saying that during your time.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. I get it. Even when I was living in my previous town, and the Vietnam vet that I was driving to his doctor's appointment, I asked him one day, because like I said, he's 80, well, yeah, 80 years old. And I had asked him one day, I said, why are you like that? And he was like, well, you just don't know what I've seen. You don't know how they treat me. And I was like, I said, I get it, but it's not, everybody's not like that nowadays.
Yeah,
Oh, you just give them the benefit of the doubt. And I was like, but sir, we cannot be like that with everyone. And he was like, well, no, you just don't understand. And I was like, I kind of understand, because 1989, I was thrown out in the field, by the police. They thought I was dead. I was, like I said, the victim of police brutality in 1989. And I was only, what, 13, 14 years old at that time. And so I kind of can relate, but I don't relate in living that life every single day, like he did,
yeah,
going and having to fight, and everything, and being disrespected, and living in the house that he was telling me, with the outhouse, and being called names, being chased, and couldn't go to school every day, and so I get it. I do. I get it. But like I was trying to tell him, you can't hold that hate towards everybody. But yeah.
yeah.
So,
He didn't find uh, someone that would see him to see life and through some different lenses. He was seeing life through that one lens, and he was not willing to change.
yes.
And so we've got to be willing to change. There's got to be something in our lives that comes into our life and say, you can trust me. But
Yes.
because undoubtedly it wasn't God for him. Did he ever talk to you about God?
I mean, all of the time. And that's all he talks about. That's all he talks about. And that's why, but then when I look at everything that he battles,
Yeah.
um, that's kind of like why we clash. And he tells me all the time, that I'm always saying stuff to him, but I make him think about stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and at 80 years old, this man told me that he just realized that he's never in his life has been independent. Yeah. But we've talked about that as well. There's a lot of people that's never been independent because
Right.
they left home and then they went into a marriage.
Right.
And so he understands that, being married for 50 something years. Yeah. So,
Mm.
but that's like, and like I said, I'm not for everyone, and and you're not for everyone, and what we
Mhm.
do is not for everyone. But what I can say, what we both do together is we promote love, we promote self-love.
Mhm.
One of the things that I do a lot is I make people self-reflect. Stop placing the
Mhm.
blame, and that's what you're doing with the self-healing words. you
Yeah.
know Go ahead and take on your own responsibility.
Mhm.
Stop putting the blame on everyone else, because like these mass shootings and everything, like and I keep telling everyone about my story. I could have very much well could have been one of these people with the programming that was instilled in me, with the words that were said to me, and I did self-destruct. There was no healing words. But now that I do understand the healing words, you cannot beat me for from putting out the healing words, because all of the negative words and the hurtful words that was instilled in me and taught to me is what hurt my body. And that's something, like I always say, the hurt that you give is the hurt that you live. Giving
Mhm.
is you're living the hurt, because you're so excuse me, so hurt on the inside. But when you can give, when you can read your book and you can understand that those healing words are needed, and you give those, your environment becomes loving. Your environment becomes
Yes.
understanding. It becomes peaceful, and your environment becomes exactly what you want it to become. There's no strife. There might be, a misunderstanding, but strife, arguments, is gonna be like, no, you go your way and I go mine, and we'll come back, at a later time. But healing words.
Let me tell you something, if I may. Healing words. I'm going to just mention you mentioned several of them just now, but empathy is a big healing word that people have trouble. They don't take a minute and realize that the empathy is understanding and sharing the feelings of another. Straight out. Being able to practice empathy helps parents and children to connect on a deeper emotional level. That's what empathy does. And another one, which we really have problems with, is communication. The act of exchanging information, open and honest communication, and it leads to trust and understanding, which was one you just said, allowing both parties to express their feelings and needs. We have problems in that area, and respect. Acknowledging the worth of each other, respecting each other's opinions, and feeling diminish conflict and promotes harmony in the relationship. Respect. Oh my God. And that's just a few. I'm just gonna add one more. Forgiveness. Letting go of resentment, practicing forgiveness can heal past wounds, okay, and allow for a fresh start and a stronger bond. Those are some healing words that if you take that into consideration, those few, that's just a few, and actually to kind of marinate on the definitions and take a look at yourself and how much of that is you. Is that what's keeping you from talking to your sister for 10 years, 5 years ago? your father, your mother, your best friend.
But see, you're making people think.
Got to. I
Hmm.
mean, these healing words are, you got to get into your heart those words, because healing words, they're not like just affirmation. Affirmation, you say something and you're speaking, you're hoping to speak that into. But healing word is so strong, so potent that somebody can be sitting right in the hospital and people start speaking the healing words, the strict scriptures, the and all of a sudden that person's eyes just light up because they're believing in those healing words. Like Jesus did. Everything that came out of Jesus' mouth was healing, was for healing.
Hmm.
Am I right, Suelo?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So basically, instead of these parents nowadays that are always saying, "I'm busy, I'm on my phone," or
Mm-hmm.
go on in this, those are not healing words.
No,
Those are not healing words.
those are
Um,
hurting words.
exactly. And respect. I love how you said something about respect, because respect is a two-way street.
That's
For
right.
people that want to say kids have to respect the adults and kids don't uh, deserve respect, they have to earn it.
Mm,
Kids earn respect as soon as they come into the world.
that's right.
They earn respect as soon as they come to the world, because guess what? And to the world, because guess what? They can't take care of themselves. So we have to respect them enough to even take care of them.
Hmm. And guess what? While they in the womb, even you gonna that child, what that child becomes starts from what they experience with
Yes.
in the womb. Cause they hear you screaming, they hear you hurting the mama. They hear, and when they come out, they're either timid or they just come out smiling and happy, and they just can't wait to meet the people who was taking care of them while
Mhm.
they were inside.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely correct about that. You're
Mm,
absolutely correct. But see, a lot of people they don't look at stuff like that. But a lot of people they don't even look at you know who they're even laying down with. They just look at what they have, the materialistic thing. They may have the
mm,
money, they may have the cars, they may have seven other kids. Oh, well, he's a good baby daddy, or she's a good baby mama. She cooks, she cleans. But what about the traits? What do you
mm,
know? What about, I mean, is the person, uh, are they angry? Do they have, asthma? Do they have, what are the health, issues that these people have, instead of looking at the materialistic things, the idolatry of what they have? It's, as they say, the worldly things.
And
Instead,
what do they have the same vision that I have?
well, that's the whole thing. A lot of people were just taught to find somebody to help you, because
Hmm.
you need help, or help you so you don't have to, or help you. And it's always, it was always a,
Finance, finance,
it was,
buy
it was,
your
I'm saying
house, put you in in uh the way that you want to be. Will they be able to afford you? That's it. That's it. They don't worry about if that person has the same vision and he wants to go to college and you want to go to college, and more than likely you're going to go to college. But what if he wants to and he don't want you to?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's not gonna work. Wow, it's kind of strange that you said that because I had something like that to happen and ended up being cheated on,
Mm.
and leaving the whole relationship because I'm like, you know what, it's not even worth it because I'm going to work and and I'm like, so yeah, it's crazy, yeah, it's kind of strange that you said that.
You gotta have something in common
Yeah,
for more than sex. I'm
yeah.
just, I'm just
More
putting that
in
out
work.
there.
I mean, in work, it has to. Well, okay, work and vacationing. I mean, but if if one person is only there to push one person towards their goals, what is the other person doing? It has to be like you said. If y'all don't have the same thing in common, if y'all not doing the same thing, if y'all cannot come together and be supportive together,
Mhm.
it's just one sided. Then there's nothing there. I mean, there's no healing, there's no support, there's no connection, there's no kind of ship there, no relationship, no bondage ship, there's nothing.
Well, there's a big difference in our ages, but I know that I believe that we wanted the same thing right now in the 60s that they want right now. And the only difference is the word judge. You can't judge me. You don't judge me. So that gives that right now, everybody is afraid to give their opinion about a situation because they're scared they're going to be labeled as judge. So now everybody is doing their own thing from the littlest one to the adults. Even oh my God, I saw a child, 3 years old, tell her mama and her grandmother, "Don't you tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do." And looked at them with their head rolling. And the grandmother was trying to tell them that they were going to fall because they had something behind them. They didn't even look behind them. They immediately said, "You can't tell me what to do." Where did that come from, Suelo?
I don't know, but I wish one would. I
The prime
don't know.
minister was the
I don't know, but
grandmother.
I really would. I would have been like, what? See, then I would understand when my grandmother would say, "Get this little out my face. Get get out my face." I would understand that then. But
But this baby was 3, probably 3, and she had the head going, and she never. The grandmother said, "Look behind you." She
this is
never
what it
looked
is.
behind, never looked
This
behind
is
her.
what it is.
Yeah,
Too many,
and she
too,
had
too
one of
many,
them.
too
She
many
had one
people.
of them. Yeah.
Too many people let their children at an early age be corrupted by
Hmm.
technology.
Yeah.
It's a corruption. It's a corruption, and that sad to say. And we all know this. Technology is raising the kids now.
Hmm.
Um, Back in your day, y'all raised y'all kids, or
Hmm.
grandma or big mama raised the kids, or
Hmm.
but it wasn't go get a tablet, or why does these kids at 6 and 7 years old have a cell phone? Why do
Hmm.
these kids at 11 and 12 years old have a cell phone? Okay, if you're going to spend the night at somebody's house,
Hmm.
I can see you have a device that
Hmm.
you take with you just in case you need to dial 911, just in case of emergencies. But why do I need to pay an extra bill for you at 6 and 7 years old? I mean,
It will, and they will cry and throw fit, and and the parents has to give it to them to set them up.
I wish one of mine would.
They
But you know,
really did. I've
I'll tell
seen
them.
it. I've seen it.
I have too, but I will tell them in a heartbeat. Your kids, your phone, my phone, not for your kids. So don't even think about it. And they will get upset. Those kids will get upset with me, and they'll be like, "Mine." I'm like, "No, mine. Get back." Yeah. But they don't understand. They do not understand that that first off, technology causes cancer. Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
when I was able to work, when we sent devices in anything to California, we had to tag it, because California was sued at one point, way back when, or about to be sued. I can't remember if they were actually sued or about to be, but they have to label every watch, every phone, everything as cancerous causing devices. So yeah, and so a lot of people there's like they don't understand where the cancer's coming from in the kids. Well, you keep giving them these technology devices and stuff.
And it's 5.0. I heard that's really can cause cancer and it's radiation. The radiation.
Well, I mean, but when you go back to all the way back to those big screen TVs, the one that had the big lights,
Hmm.
all of that stuff caused radiation. And that's why you're not supposed to take your TV to throw it in the trash because they're not supposed to go to the landfill because of all the radiation on the inside of it. Those things have some diodes that has some very dangerous chemicals on the inside of them.
So what are we doing for advancement, for technology, for what are we giving up to
Our
have it
life.
as our life? We're
I lost the left breast to it.
you you did.
My breast cancer came from my cell phone because my job that I had, it stayed in my smock the whole time. It stayed in my smock just like this the whole time. It stayed in there, and the battery was right there, and I ended up with breast cancer right there with my phone set. It was for
Oh,
like 6.5 years. It was there.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, Swillow, I'm sorry.
and that's why I tell everybody, um, I don't know why California is the only state that will put on the phones and stuff, and this is anything, your earbuds. If it's wireless, it's gonna cause cancer. And I can't even say wireless because the stuff is made out of you got solder, you got flux, all of this stuff is cancer causing agent. So I mean, hey, it's just
And our babies are starting on them so soon.
yes, ma'am. Because the parents are too busy on their phone or TV or whatever, um, not wanting to be parents anymore. I remember growing up, and I remember going swimming. We would go bike riding. We would go to the gym. We would, because my mother had a membership at her job, and we would go to the gym. We would work out. We would exercise. We would do all of this stuff. We would color, you know, lay in the floor,
Yes.
color and stuff. Love to color to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Parents, so many parents, they don't do that stuff. You have a handful of parents that actually interact with their kids, and then the first thing they want to say is, "Oh, you see what's happening on TV? These kids are going crazy." Well, where's the attention? Where's the love? Where's the nurture? Where's the healing words?
And we don't even know what's physical, mental, emotional is happening to them because of all of this technology and all of this um, using computers and cell phones and all this to babysit. That they are, and look. the robots, are they going to become the babysitters next? I
I don't
mean,
know, but you know what? What parents don't understand is technology speeds up a child's brain. And even just with the flashing of the lights,
mm-hmm,
that child at 2 and 3 years old, it speeds their brain up so fast because they have to keep up with the color changing, with
mm-hmm,
the movement of everything. And so when people are saying these babies nowadays, they are so smart. But I bet you if you keep the phone away from them, or if you keep them out of, out from in front of the TV, they won't move as fast. And I'm not going to say that, they're going to move the same pace as we did back, well, my people back in the 70s.
mm-hmm,
They're not going to do that. But if you just slow them down a little bit by stop giving them the technology, spend more time with them, take them outside,
mm-hmm,
do more family things instead of,
mm-hmm.
oh, I'm busy right now, I don't have time, and just here, take my phone, here, take my tablet.
That's it. That's exactly what they're saying. Here, take my phone. I'm in the doctor's office with parents, and the kid is going nuts because they want the phone. And finally, they would say, "Here, just take my phone. Take my phone," even though they don't want to, and they fight it until the kids start embarrassing them.
Well, see, they never should have
And
started that. They
yes,
started it, so now they have
yes,
to keep it up.
yeah, so now they have no say so because that kid know to what point the clown that parent is going to give up that phone.
Yeah.
What? Why? I mean, when did it happen where we lost control over babies?
Well, no, it's we lost. Wait, we never got control of our own self. The only thing
Mm.
we know is we don't want our kids to have the same life that we had growing up. We want them to have better.
What happened? Well, you see what happened there.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have better, but they have no parents now. They have all the better this and that. They have cars that we would never have. Working a job. I I heard, and this is a rumor, so I'm not saying I don't know how true it is, but if it's just an example that some celebrity told his child, look, I'm paying $10,000 for you for your car note every month. It's about time for you to pay for your own car. You make enough $10,000 a month. And that's just an example. And I'm sure they can afford it. I mean, they're a celebrity and all that. But
Right.
God, that's just an example of what children and maybe not children, but still not old enough to pay them their part. So
Yeah.
what is really going on? Where you want your child to have better than you, more than you had. So now you didn't you're overdoing it.
So now you hindered them. You hindered your
Yes,
children. You've handicapped them. Um,
and they
but
believe they
but
have to do.
that's more to me. That's more of a control issue. That's a controlling parent, because it's like, so you hinder a child, but then you have all of the control. You're controlling everything of this child. So what are you teaching them? That you are who? Who are you? Are you the parent, or are you God? Because again, we all have an expiration date. And if they keep doing this to these kids, they're not teaching them anything. Now, if something was to happen to this parent that's paying $10,000, if he's really paying $10,000 a month, If something was to happen to him, what is this child now going to do? This
Okay.
child's not going to be able to
That,
live. This child's not going to be able to survive. And
mm-hmm,
by any means necessary, anything can happen.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
So
that's a controlling parent, though. That's not if that to me, this is just my opinion. There's a difference between giving your child the life that you didn't have and being controlling.
yes,
There's a big difference.
it's a big difference because, as you already mentioned, if something happened to you and that child is used to living that way, and when you gone, everything leaves for whatever the reason, then what kind of child do we have out here that's trying to find themselves and don't is not willing to go and live at a lower a class? So now, what does he do? What did she do? We've got a lot of that. We got a lot of that going on. We've got a lot of people who feel justified because they've lived that life and they are not going to lower themselves to a lower standard. And so now we've got a lot of people committing crimes based on they don't want to they don't want to give up nothing. I had a young woman on my show, on my podcast, and she could not just work a 9 to 5 after living with luxury and all the finer things. And she went to drugs, selling, doing whatever. And she lived that life for a while until she got caught and had to do some time. So we got to we got to have our children heal. We've got to heal our children. We got to heal the parents who need healing. There was something that I would say. God is calling on everyone to come together and take part in a movement, whatever your movement that will help, that will solely is solely fueled by love. And we all know God is love. And we are made in his image. So what are we doing, Suelo? We've got everything that we need. God has given us everything that we need to do right, to live a prosperous life, and and still it's dog eat dog. I'm gonna get mine. I don't care about you having yours. And don't I'm gonna do it by any means necessary. That we keep saying that part, but it's true.
It's true. That's true. Um, and then also parents, and I keep talking about this. The parents, hurt parents
Mm.
raising children. Understand that you are hurt, and it's okay being hurt. But we don't have to continue to bleed on these children. The children are innocent. So the healing words are very necessary. And again, I'm speaking from my own self experience because I was told those hurtful words my whole life. And that's what made me leave. I left home because I got tired of it. I didn't want to keep hearing that I was a mistake, that, she wasn't supposed to have any more kids, yada yada yada, you know. And like I said, I was what, 23. Well, matter of fact, yeah, I moved away from home. I moved a little bit over an hour away, so 70, 80 miles away from home. And I was like 22, 23 years old before my mother ever first told me. She decided she wanted to tell me she loved me then. But the whole time before then, I don't love you. I would say, Mom, I love you. I don't love you. You was a mistake. So those words, and those words stuck with me so much, to where that's the reason why now that I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do. Because when I told them I wanted to do this, I wanted to speak and I wanted to be heard. They kept telling me nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. They kept telling me that I was just like my excuse me, my pop side of the family, well, my dad's side of the family, whatever. I call them my pops. But they just kept saying, you like your daddy side of the family. And so I thought that I had to be just like his side of the family. That's what I did. I went
Mm,
out, and that's what I'm saying. Those healing words, and I'm so grateful that you are saying to speak those words into your children, because the words that were spoken into my life, that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. When they
exactly.
I had no other choice but to be like his side of the family, I did everything. And then when I did it just like them, the first thing they said is, "Why are you doing that? Why are you?" I'm like, "That's what y'all taught me." They was like, "But not like that." I was like, "Oh, because I'm doing it bigger and better than you.
Mm.
You're crazy. You're crazy." And I'm like, "No, I'm not crazy. I'm just out here surviving. That's what y'all taught me to do."
And you are living what was told to you. Look, I am called. I am chosen. I am equipped for every good work. That's us. That's what God said. We are equipped now, but that's not what we're told.
Oh no, 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 no. No, I was told that I wasn't gonna amount to anything. I wasn't gonna. I mean, because it's just because of the family I came from. Now, if my mother would have got pregnant by someone else, then
Mhm,
things would have been different. But because
mhm.
of who my dad is, my pops, and they were married, but everybody, my grandmothers and everybody was like, no, he's nothing. And the thing about it is, the dude was my pops, the dude, and that's how I talk about him. The dude, he worked at Pillsbury and he was a mortician, so he had good money, but his heart wasn't right. His mind.
And, and that's the heart is the central of all of our body. And if the heart is not right, you
Nothing's right.
just nothing else matters because that heart can most people have been destroyed because of their heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I want to tell you your your audience. I don't know if they notice that I speak with it's a work in progress because I've had a massive stroke, two craniotomies, and woke up from a coma. The reason I'm telling you all this because I am here. I am purpose driven. I am here not by chance, but by choice, God's choice, to talk to you today, to let you know about healing words so you don't give up, so that you don't think that what you're going through right now, right this moment, is going to take you out, that you're not going to go any further. This is it for you. Well, if I would have thought that 17 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting here with Suelo looking really kind of cute too at 68. Okay? Now, but if you saw me 17 years ago, my hair was all shaved off. The side of my right side had a scar where they went in there to try to save my life by cutting my cranium. And I still have that scar today. That scar reminds me of how powerful God is. Man, you know, you're not supposed to live like that. I mean, usually if something that happens to the brain to that intent, to that level, usually you know, wake up. But when I look back over my life, I have tripped, I have fallen, but I never stayed down. And it's okay, you can use that, whoever want to use that. Because I'm telling you, that gives God the glory. Don't don't worry about a thing. You heard that song? Every little thing gonna be all right. Every big thing can be all right too. Me and Suelo, we know we have been through can't even tell you the one word that will properly describe it. But not to worry. Not to worry. What God has planned. Now he gave me activate your faith. And then after that, he gave me generational turnaround. And he sent me the TikTok where I'm like, I don't think they have old people like me at TikTok. But he did not ask me that I want to go. He told me to go. See, I don't know if any of you have ever had that when God said, do it, do it. He don't ask. And so I did. And within the first week, I found myself going viral. Okay. 4 million people was looking at me. But it wasn't for my good. Believe me, someone took my face and they decided they were making fun of me. They put on a wig and I I was giving God the glory and all excited and they found that funny. And so, but guess what? I got over 4,000 young people who said, I can't believe you do that. I'm going with her. I love Miss Judy and I'm gonna go with her. And so I got 4,000 followers from that. So what the devil meant for my harm, God turned it around for my good. So I say that to say this. Don't give up. Don't fall for the okey doke. That's from my time. Don't fall for it. Okay. When it look like that you can't see no way out, God always has that 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 door open. He always has a way out. So thank y'all for this opportunity. Suelo, take it away.
You know what? I want to thank you. I want to thank you for that. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the opportunities. Starting out, activate your faith, generational turnaround, and now here we are who knows what 25 is going to bring for us, because like I said, there's a lot of people that say, okay, I want to, but you have to be ready. You have to be ready. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to know who you are and whose you are. You have to understand your purpose. And if you don't even understand your purpose, you're going to be fearful in everything that you come to. I don't care if it's a stop sign, a yield sign, a red light, or whatever. But whenever you come to it, it could be a door that's wide open, that's telling you to walk through it. But because you're not there yet, you're going to be fearful and you're going to stop and say, you know what? I can't do it. So, again, understand your purpose, understand who you are, because you know what? We all have talents. We all have talents. Like I said, I've always, told my family this is what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to speak. And it took me to get a child in my life just not too long ago and watch how she's always told, stop doing that, stop doing that, little girls don't do that, you can't do that, stop doing it, stop doing it, stop. Watching her is what made me understand exactly when and how I lost myself. And it's because of the things that was said to me as a child growing up. So healing words are very much well needed, because a lot of kids and their talent is wasted. A lot of kids don't even know their own purpose, because don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. Well, what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to do exactly what you want them to do, or they're supposed to be who you want them to be, not who God called them to be. It's about listening to your child, like you said, respectfully. Children can respectfully say no to their parents, respectfully. It doesn't have to be, well, no, I don't want to, or no, because you can't tell me that. No, it doesn't have to be that. It could be a respectful, a respectful manner. It could be a respectful, a nice way, or however you want to put it. But respect is a two-way street. So just like I said, when you understand your purpose, you step out in it, and you feel God's grace and mercy. And once you start feeling God's grace and mercy, and you walk it in His faith, nothing can stop you. So, Miss Judy, again, I don't have the patience to sit down and write books. I hadn't even started the first chapter of my book. I mean, the first sentence of my book. And I think I started my book 18 years ago. Now I'm just playing. I was just playing.
Well, you know what? I've been writing since I was about 7 years old. I would go, I would go to school, and I was writing about me and my friends, and every day they expected me to have a new chapter because they wanted to know where it would end, but they wanted to know everything in the middle first. But you know how kids say, "What's gonna happen at the end? What's it got?" But they had to wait. So I started writing very, very early. I had a very vivid imagination, and so that was my calling. Now I got married and stopped writing, and all that kind of stuff. But here I am back full circle where I should have been, well, where I was all the time. And I would like to tell your your audience that you can pick up my book at generationalturnaround.com. And let me tell you, Suelo, I am a 501c3 nonprofit. So everything that you do for the generational turnaround, if you want to leave a donation, if you want to be a subscriber, which would be great, subscribe to my show. It's Generational Turnaround Podcast. where we seek the truth and then we bring you the proof. Thank you.
Generational turnaround. That's it. That's it. Um, I love it. I love being able to be a part of generational turnaround because being born in the '60s, being raised in the latter part of I said '60s, the '70s, excuse me, and being raised in the latter part of the '70s and in the '80s and stuff. Um, being in the streets, surviving the streets. A lot of people said I wasn't going to make it. A lot of people said that what I'm doing right now, and it wasn't just my family, it was everybody that watched me self destruct because of the words. You're gonna be just like your dad's side of the family. You have no other choice. You look just like him. I mean, it was just. But I had to understand that, and this is something else I had to learn to. I mean, excuse me, that I saw when I was going through my mess back in 2018, 19, when I was in Oak Cliff. I was in Oak Cliff, Texas. This is one thing I kept seeing. And this is sad because these people were older than me. So at the time they were like 50, 60 and above. And now they're still, 60, 70. But these people are saying, I'm just like my mama. I'm just like my daddy. I have no other choice. I'm just like them. I can't, and I'm like, but just, we have to understand that we are our own person. We came from them, but we don't have to be just like them. We don't have to have ways like them. We don't even have to have the same health issues. Because I hear people, oh yeah, I'm a diabetic because we'll stop eating the same stuff. If we stop eating the same stuff, stop trying to eat all of the grease out of the pot, stop, putting all of the grease in the food, stop eating all the fried food. It's okay every now and then, but just take care of yourself a little bit better. If you
Yeah,
see,
you're talking about speaking it into existence. You just said it. That's what they do. They're speaking it because their mom or their dad or Aunt Sarah, somebody had diabetes. I'm gonna have it. Why? Why would
yeah,
you say that?
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. My doctors, they look at me and say, oh, well, your mother, your grandmother, I'm like, and I don't have none of that stuff. And I don't have any of it. And my doctor, he's like, I have other issues. I have back issues. I have all of this, but I don't have the diabetes and all of that stuff that my family has. And I did deal with high blood pressure for a split second, but that's because of all the pain that my body, is in.
Right.
But I haven't had blood pressure medicine in about 5 months or something like that. My doctor's like, well, what did you do? I was like, I moved. I moved away from everybody, and I gave everything back to God. I'm not God. What am I worried about stuff I can't control for?
Yes, I was there too. I
So
know about that.
yeah. So again, Miss Judy, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. Let me see. We've been on here for
Okay.
an hour and 3 minutes. So and again, like I said, I do want to thank you. I want to thank you for being my guest. Finally, I got a chance to have you on here.
Yes,
Um,
yes, I'm so glad.
Well, first I had to be obedient and get everything started, and try to learn how to get stuff work. But now I have to figure out how to do something about these dogs because these dogs, I'm pretty sure the dogs that you can hear the dogs in the background. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's hard. I'm so glad. Don't say dogs, 'cause this one has been quiet.
well, see, those are my neighbor's dogs, and it's just one. And okay, so it's four dogs out there, but one, there's something wrong with him. I don't know if he's old, but he just barks constantly for no reason. That's the only one out of all four that barks.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's
So
probably old and tired and
yeah, the trees, any little given sound, he's just barking. So, but yeah, but like I said, I wanna thank you again for everything that you do, everything that you have overcame. Um, and I'm so grateful that that God brought us together, because without Him
No,
meeting in the clubhouse streets, without Him, none of this would be possible. So
that's right. That is so right. Well, I just want to do my little prayer, if you don't mind. I pray that today, and it has been, was better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow. I pray that tomorrow will bring forth a double portion of blessing in the form of opportunity that we never saw coming. Thank you. Thank you for having me again, Suelo. And we're going to be back on each other's show. But in between time, we got a lot of guests to bring to you all. That we going to prove our point that we can do all things through Christ, which strengthens us.
yes, ma'am. Regardless of what anybody says, if they tell you that you're crazy, if they tell you that you cannot do it, if God brought you to it, He's gonna bring you through it. And He may have to go ahead and remove some of those people in your life, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Because you may have to, leave them, right there, go out and do your thing, and then come back. Some people you will be able to come back to, some people you may not ever be able to come back to. But that's between you and your God. Everybody's process is different. So if somebody gets to talking about, well, if it were me, I would do this, run, run. Because you know what? That person is not you. You have to do you, and you have to understand what God is calling you to do. So my saying, live your life on purpose for your purpose. And with that being said, we're gonna get out of here, and until we meet again, love
Bye
you all to
bye.
life. All right then.